Is all 4K the same? Let's find out. So today I'm going to be looking at two different cameras, both by the same manufacturer, both do 4K. We're going to be looking at the Panasonic DMZ TZ80, I think they're called the 90 now, but it's the same spec, it's just a couple of different features. And then we're also looking at the DCGX800K, which I believe is an 850 in other countries. So at the moment we're filming on this one, the 800. Now, looking at them, they're both similarly sized cameras. I'm trying to see the megapixels on this, it doesn't seem to tell me on the Lumix, but they're both recording 4K. So in theory, when we swap between the two, bar possibly slightly different camera angles, we should be getting pretty much the same kind of quality 4K. But that's what we'll find out. Is all 4K equal? Is there better 4K or worse 4K? So looking at these cameras, what we're looking at now is this one. So it's got intelligent auto, 60 megapixels, contrast, and it shoots 4K. How does that 4K look? I don't know, and I'll only know when I play this back and have a look. So, should we try the other camera and see how different that looks? Let's switch over to the DMZ TZ80. Here we go. So now we're filming on the DMZ TZ80. Now this is a bridge camera, and you get much better zoom with this one as opposed to the previous camera. They're both filming 4K, they're both doing 100 megabytes per second, or megabits per second, whatever the terminology is. So we should be looking for kind of equal quality, but we won't know until we review the footage and see the difference. Now I've used this camera before quite a bit. I do like the quality of it, though I do find it to be a bit more harsh than say using like my GoPro or using my iPhone. It's quite a detailed camera, so it'd be interesting to see how much difference there is between this and that. Now, before you fanboys start having a go at me, you're saying, well, they're two different types of camera. Yes, they are, but they're both in the same price point. They're both cameras which you could buy to capture 4K video, and that is the purpose of today's video, to see if all 4K is the same. And just for a bit of fun, I've also got an old Lumix DMC FS9, a bit of a Lumix fanboy, and we'll put the next video on this to see how much video has changed in the last couple of years. This camera isn't particularly old, so it'll be interesting to see how much difference there is between all these different cameras. So let's try this one out. So here we are on the old Lumix. So this is how far things have changed. I'm not quite sure what this is, the mode for moving picture. So it's been quite interesting to see how much difference there is between not that old and a very high spec camera at the time versus the two cameras we've looked at today. So I don't even know if you can tell the difference, because obviously I can't see any of this, I've done the whole video. So is there a difference? Is it massive? Who knows? So here we are back on the GX800K. So both these have different feature modes and a few different bits and bobs, but overall I found them both very easy to use. Both menus are extremely similar, in fact, and they both seem to work really well. Slight restriction on this particular camera is the recording length is only 5 minutes, so if you're editing and moving stuff around, it's not so bad. On the other one, I think it's 15 minutes before they both seem to get really hot, but that shows you how much they're doing. I think they both do 100 megabytes per second, so I'm really expecting when I look back at both things, they should be the same. So let's me go off, and I'll come back and we'll have a look. I like to get nice and close and see how good the autofocus is. Comes in handy having a beard. Bit of a problem though, you can't always tell when it's focused because the screens are so small. Looking good though. Now I'm not sure what you guys thought there, but I would have to say that the Lumix G DCGX does give an overall nicer picture. But that goes to show, just by saying 4K on the camera doesn't mean it's going to be 4K how you expect it to be. Try and get hold of some sample footage, try and get a camera you can loan off a friend or anything like that, so you can see it's going to deliver what you want. The problem is sometimes we watch stuff on YouTube and we watch stuff on the internet and you expect it to be a certain way, and then when it delivers it's just not what you expected, and then before you know it you're completely out of pocket. So if you can, get out there and try. And that's not just for these two cameras looking at today, same with phones, same with other cameras, all different brands. Just because it specs at 4K, 1080p or whatever, there is different qualities of 4K. Even when it says 4K at 30 frames a second or 4K at 60 frames a second, once again there is different levels of quality. Anyway, thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fun. I feel like I like doing stuff like this. And thank you to Panasonic for the cameras. So, we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!